Greetings, kings and queens. It's that time again. 2024. We're gonna get ready to do our garden again, as we always do every year. I just wanted to show you guys what the garden beds look like. I haven't worked on them as yet. We just pulled out some of the old rubbish from last year, just to give you a quick look. Still have to do some more cleaning in here, but there was a lot of dead debris and things like that. And believe it or not, do you see this? While cleaning this, we discovered that the tomato plants from last summer, when they dropped off the vines and decomposed in the soil, the seeds replanted themselves, which is great because I'm gonna have tomato plants galore again. So the thing is that I have to root these back up and space them out, because if you take a look, they're too close. These are so much seeds, except that one right there. That has to be pulled out. Yeah, and more soil has to be put down, fertilizer. This bed still has to be cleaned. This wasn't rooted up or anything. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look as to what we're looking at right now. And so we'll be back. Of course, this video is going to take days, weeks before I actually even get it out. So I'll do a little recording here and there when I have the time, because sometimes I just don't have the time. My work comes first. And I love you guys, and thank you to everybody who has been with me. Thanks to my new subscribers. Thanks for having an interest in this channel. And thanks for helping us grow. And until the next clip, peace and blessings, kings and queens. Okay, so I'm back quickly. I just rooted this up. And I just want to show you guys how many tomatoes. This doesn't look like a lot, but these are a lot. In this area right here, there is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's probably about 25 tomato plants just in this little area. There's just that corner right there. That's not including, see, there's one there. There's one. Here's one. There's about 3 of them there. 2 there. 1 there. And probably about 12 over there, or 15. There's about 5 there. 2 there. 1 over there. And then there's a whole bunch over here. The thing is that I have to root these all up, because I have to turn every one of the beds. I gotta turn the soil, and I have to treat the soil. Oh, gotta get my son's car plate out of there. I have to treat all the soil. I gotta turn the soil. I gotta fertilize it, add soil. I make our own fertilizer. It takes a year to do. Well, it takes me a year to do, and that's going to be going in these boxes. I'm not sure if I'm going to record all of that. But this is going to take time to do. These are the beds that I made last year. You guys remember that? I'll probably post a whole video from the last year build of these beds. Probably in the comment section or the description box. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Peace and blessings. Okay, kings and queens, I want to show you. This is day 8 from transplanting these plants from seeds to what I believe was mature enough to put in the ground. Some of them I had no choice, even though they were so young, to go in the ground, and so they flourished very well. Some of them, even though I planted the seeds the same day, some are bigger than the others. I want to go with, this is bed 1. Let me tell you what I have in bed 1. Okay, you can tell you see my shadow. Look at my my hair, so much hair. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8, which are going to be trees. If you are familiar with collard greens and how they grow, you know how they grow. So they kind of grow like trees, and they grow even all the way up until like October, November. And but when the weather starts to become a little bit cooler, even though they'll still grow, they'll just be smaller leaves. But we're gonna have a lot of collard greens. And then back there are these are Italian lacinato kale plants. So I have 8 of those too. So there's 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. And so they grow very similar to the collard greens. They grow like trees, and you just snap off the leaves. You know, whenever you want to come down to, you know, make some dinner, some soup, or a pot of collard greens, or a pot of kale, or whatever it is, you just come down and take off as many leaves as you want. You just go back up in your house and cook them, right? Or juice them, or whatever, salads, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to go to bed 2. Okay, kings and queens, this is bed number 2, and I want to tell you what I have here. See, there's 1, 2, 3, which is the Italian lacinato kale. Sometimes they call it lacinato, sometimes they call it black kale, sometimes they call it dinosaur kale. I think I have several videos on my channel explaining why they call these types of kale these different types of names. But these are a little bit smaller than the others. Now remember, these are from seeds that I planted from seeds, and I bear in mind that these seeds are seeds left over from the harvest before, from the food that we had eaten already. So I just wash the seeds, save them for the following year, and so on and so forth. This row right here, this is curly kale. So I only have 3 rows of that. And then back here, maybe I should go on the other side so that you can see better. That plant right there, that one, and that one are bell pepper plants. This one is a jalapeno plant, and that one over there is a hot pepper plant. And I have some Italian hot peppers. I'm going to go around on the other side so that you can see they're very, very tiny. Sometimes some of the plants and seeds, sometimes they grow faster than the other plants. I'm not sure why they germinate at different times, but they do. So let me go over and show you how small they are. Okay, they're very small, but I still put them in the ground. So they've been flourishing. They've been coming along fairly well. And this one is bed 3. Now, in the clip prior to this one, you'll remember that I mentioned that in this bed, because it was also in this bed as well. If you guys remember last year, there was a lot of tomatoes that either they were too heavy for the vine. I had if you guys remember, a lot of different kind of tomatoes that I planted, variety of different types, and they fall off the vine either because they are either overripe or they're just too heavy for the vine, or whatever reason it is that they fall off and they fall into the soil. And last year what I did was I took some of them that fell to the ground, took them upstairs, washed them, cleaned them, let them dry, and my hopes was to use those same seeds to plant them again this year. But those seeds that fell into the soil, the one tomatoes that I didn't pick, this is what grew. They grew by themselves. What I did do was, because some of the tomato plants grew so close together. I had to dig up some and put them in spaces in a row. If you notice the clip prior to this one, you'll see this plant right here and that plant right there, and there's another one over there. They're droopy because they're in shock. They will pucker up like the rest of these have. I just actually finished this not so long ago. If you notice, the other ones that I tried to manage to get them in rows are not in shock or droopy or anything like that. It's just these three. I'm not worried about them because I know they're going to be okay. But I tried to transplant as many as possible and space them out as much as possible. But this is going to be a very bushy garden bed with all of these tomatoes because they're so close together. There's just so many plants. There's probably like 5 or 6 or 7, maybe, no, I think there's about 12 here. I rooted up some of these plants, maybe like about, I don't know, 6 to 10 because I'm giving them away. I'm just going to take you guys on the deck to show you what I have up there also. And so this is how it looks now. Like I said in the first clip that, oh, there's a little chipmunk. This is going to be a video that is going to be clips throughout time, and because I'm going to make it into one big video like I did the garden build last year, you know, just to make it a longer video so you guys can see the process, the growth, and so on and so forth. This one over here, this is bed 4, and those 8 plants that you see in the back there are Swiss chard, rainbow Swiss chard. They taste basically just like spinach, so they're perking up pretty well. This is spinach that was transplanted, and I did plant a few more rows of spinach, but seeds directly in the ground. This is what you see here. This is spinach coming up, as you see, but these need to be watered. So let's go up on the deck and let me show you what I have up there. Okay, so it is a little messy up here because I've been working downstairs and up on the deck all day doing a lot of transplanting because I'm definitely not going to have any room downstairs in those garden beds, and I was actually going to build another garden bed. But it's just so much work. I have like this in my work schedule. I'm actually off today, and my work schedule is, oh, I work from day to night, 4 days a week, and I have the other 3 days off. So I try to do what I have to do on my days off. Now remember, guys, this is 8 days. This is 8 days after they've been planted. If you go back and look at the other clip, like I said prior to this, you'll see how small these were. Look how happy they are. Let me get this out of the way. Look how happy they are because they have space. I decided to put my cucumbers in this deck raised garden bed because I want them to eventually wrap around the post. I am going to fix it up a little bit. Last year, let me show you. Last year, they were in bed 1. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year they were in that bed, bed 1. Bed 2, bed 3, bed 4. It looks a little blurry because I'm all the way up on the deck, so it's zoomed in as much as possible, so it's a little blurry. But that's where I had the cucumbers last year. That first bed right there where the collard greens and the lacinato kale is. Here are some tomato plants that I had to transplant and take out from down there and put up here on the deck. Now mind you, all of those tomatoes that's down there that you see, I have no idea what kind of tomatoes they are until they start growing because they just took over and they planted themselves. Here's some more tomato plants. I'm giving these to my older son and his wife. I don't know if you can see. And I'm still not finished yet. I have a lot more work to do. But I'll show you as time passes by where we are so far. Again, this is my mandevilla. I transplanted that one. This one has to be transplanted. I'm giving this one to my younger son. And then I have another one right there. Another mandevilla. That I'm giving to my older son. Why is it blurry? Get closer. Yeah, that's a mandevilla. It's beautiful. They grow beautiful flowers. They just have to be transplanted. And one for my younger son and one for my older son. And these are the containers that I'm going to be using. I have a lot of, don't mind the deck is a little messy, so I gotta sweep and hose it down. And these came in very handy. It's possible that I'm gonna have to replant my cauliflower into these because they need space to go and grow, and they need space to grow. This is my broccoli. These definitely, I just recently transplanted these like 8 days ago, as I was saying, just because I needed them to come out of those small containers because the roots were wrapping around and they were creating a web and they were getting strangled. I had no space, but I needed to get these out of those containers and plant them so they have some space and some freedom. I didn't have no space downstairs in the garden beds to plant these, so I put them here, and I was believing that I was going to leave them here temporary, but I'm just going to have to retransplant them again into these, those over there. I got these at Costco. I think they were 3 for $20, and I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is oregano. This is tarragon, thyme, purple sage, parsley, rosemary, spearmint, lavender, and then of course the cauliflower and the broccoli. And so that's it for now, guys, until the next clip, and then it goes into all one video. And this here, oh, there's a bee. Where'd he go? And this here, because I used this bed last year throughout the time, I use this for my composting. Bug. Is it? Is that a bug? I use this for my compost, and treated it throughout the months and finished it up this spring and May. Spring and the warmer months to treat it and things like that. And of course I did get some other soil to mix and fertilizer, but I love making my own fertilizer. So he's busy. Now he fell on his back once again. I don't know if you guys can see. but he fell on his back once again. He's one of the garden keepers. And so he's been helping. So guys, this is what I was mentioning to you before, that I use this as a compost bin. And this right there is actually a scallion that started to root. So I'm leaving it alone and just gonna let it grow in the bed with the cucumbers and the zucchinis. And this guy, he is being a little lazy right now. So he's not moving. He's, oh, there he goes. He's on his back again. He's on his back again. Yeah, I think he's done his job for now. He's trying to he'll get out. He's done his job for now, but he'll be back. Okay, kings and queens, I just wanted to show you. Do you remember these two plants right here were droopy? And then that one over there at the end was droopy because I had to transplant them a little bit and they got a little shocked. So it looked like they were dying, but they needed to settle in, so I gave them some water and they're up and about and nice and perky. So they'll be fine. I just wanted to add this into this video when I put it all together so that you guys can see that they just perked right back up. And this is hours later, by the way. Okay, kings and queens, I'm just gonna go over everything down here. You guys remember these were the garden beds that I built last year, and I will leave a link in the description box, including the comments, so that you guys can click on those videos and see how I put this together. But I wanted to go over everything that's down here in the garden beds with you guys. Let's take a quick look from a little further back. This is bed 1, bed 2, bed 3, and bed 4. Now in bed 1, we have 2 different varieties of greens here. One of them being the Italian kale lacinato. I did plant a few of those in this bed along with what you see here, these beautiful greens called collard greens. There's so many. These are going to be picked today, at least most of them. And back there is a tomato plant, and tomato plants have planted themselves all over, and I'll explain what happened. But in bed number 2, we have a bunch of curly kale that needs to be plucked today. And back here in the same bed, in bed number 2, of course you're going to see that there's tomato plants in here that I did not plant. We have some bell pepper plants. If you can see, there's some there. There's quite a few. And we have some jalapeno plants. Let's see. Okay, there's quite a few. I have to actually really get in here. There's another one. There's some more. If you can see that one hiding back there. It's a little blurry. Let me see if I can. There you go. Well, okay. But you'll see what the pick will be. Look how beautiful the kale is. This is bed number 3. Now this bed right here is my tomato plants. Now, as you guys know who have been watching me, who have been with me since the beginning of the channel, or has grown to who have subscribed afterwards and has been following along with some of the videos that I do post when I have time, we use the same seeds that we eat the food from, wash the seeds, dry them, put them away for the following year. So these plants right here, these tomato plants, last year's plants, the tomatoes that dropped down in the ground. Some of you noticed that I picked them up and I, washed them off. Either they were too heavy for the vine, they split and they dropped to the bottom of the ground. I picked them up, removed all the flesh, washed them, washed the seeds, set them up to dry. And what happened was, when spring came, some of the ones that I did not retrieve, the seeds, after the flesh have turned back to the soil and turned into compost, the seeds germinated into the soil, and so when spring came, tomato plants started to grow. So I kind of left them the way that they were when they were little, because when they were little I didn't see as much as then, and I have a job that in my work actually keeps me very busy, so sometimes I wasn't able to always pay attention. So what also happened was, while you'll see some tomato plants in some of the other beds, is because either maybe insects probably came, to feast on and travel back to their homes for their young, and they would drop in some of the boxes. So that's why you would, or maybe the birds too, dropped some seeds if they were trying to come along to get some food from the garden beds sometime last year, and they just dropped the seeds and they fell in these garden beds. So there's several tomato plants in other beds that in every bed, because there's also some in bed 4. This is where I had spinach and Swiss chard. That row that you see empty there is where the spinach used to be. That was already pulled already. And here is the beautiful Swiss chard. Here, this has to be pulled today. There's so many, if you look how big they are. And here's another tomato plant in this bed. There's one tomato plant here. And tomato plants, seeds that must have been dropped outside the garden beds, because there's one there, there's one there, and there's one over there. I gotta get more sticks to prop them up with. I did a lot of work last week in this bed here to pull them up. And then there's several over here that I just left them the way that they are. There's a few here, if you noticed, and then there's another one here, another one over there, another one right there, if you can see. There's several. And then there's one there, which I didn't plant, if you can see right there in the corner. And again, if I didn't show you before, I'm going to show you again. There's some here where the bed number 2 is with the kale, and there's also some of Italian kale that I planted with the curly kale. But we have other, everything is crammed, which was beyond my control. You'll see in the videos and clips before this that I did try to transplant some of them. I also gave some away to family, and they just kept growing, so I just left it the way that it was. And we're gonna have some beautiful tomatoes. They're not quite ready yet. If you can notice, there's several different varieties here, and I'm so excited actually, but it's gonna be a lot of work to get to them. Upstairs on the deck, if you notice, there are a few tomato plants that I have on the deck and some deck pots, and we're gonna start harvesting some of this stuff. So I want you to come join me. So these back here were cauliflower, but they didn't make it for me to transplant. These are broccoli, that where the spinach used to be downstairs by the Swiss chard. I'm eventually going to transplant them there on one of my days off, which is these few days. Not sure if it's going to be in this video or not, but in the future, if it's not in this video, you guys will see. So this is weeks after transplanting, and we see where we are. This is an organic garden, and if I can do it, you can do it too. Yep.
Say what's up to Mom.
Hey.
My mom said hi.
What's up? I miss you. When you coming again? We're picking collard greens.
Hold on. My bad. I couldn't hear you, bro. You were still connected to my car. What you said? Glad you're home, Mom.
Glad you're home too, baby. Picking stuff from the garden. Okay, guys. So we're gonna pick some collard greens. They just have to be snapped. Okay, so we did pick a lot of the larger leaves of the curly kale in bed 2. We're going to leave the smaller ones there and let them grow a little bit. Bed number 1, we did take some collard greens in the Italian lacinato kale. The leaves are still a little bit small, so I'm going to leave them alone for now. But I did pick a few. Now we're going to go all the way to bed number 4 and pick some Swiss chard right after I pluck some jalapeno peppers over there. I know I saw a couple here ready. Oh, here's one. We just pop it up. It comes right off. Let's see what else we got. We do have some other jalapenos. I could pick them now because they're not that small. I would prefer them to be a little bigger. There's another one there. There's some over here. See that? Oh, it came off anyway. So let me take a couple of these. We got a lot of greens, guys. I'm gonna cook some of these today. So guys, this is Swiss chard. This is Rainbow Swiss Chard. You see the red veins. This is the purple one. This one is the red one. And of course you can tell by the veins. This is a yellow one. I'm not sure if the camera is showing that much. And there's some back here too. Look at the size of this one, look. Look at this beauty queen. Now that's a queen. Alright, so I'm going to finish harvesting these and show you guys what I got in a little bit. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Whew. Okay, kings and queens, this is the pick, the harvest of the day. We have Rainbow Swiss Chard, curly kale, and collard greens. Now you'll notice in some of the plants that you'll see holes like this. This is just from insects eating away, which means this is organic. When you buy produce or vegetation at a supermarket, a lot of times the farmers or whoever's growing the vegetation puts pesticide on their greens, on their leafy greens or their fruits and vegetables to avoid bugs from eating their plants. Well, I don't do that. I let it grow naturally, and this is still good. I'm still going to clean it up and eat it. It's fine. We're going to take these and wash these and trim them. My husband already got the garlic ready. He can't wait to have some of these greens. Not sure if it's going to be in this video. I may do a separate video with it. showing you what I prepared with some of the greens, and we'll see in the next clip. But let me show you what the Swiss chard bed looks like. There's still some more leaves. I'll go pick these another day. And there's another tomato plant. So I'll pick these a different day. They can still grow a little bit. And that's it for the harvesting for the day. The tomatoes are not fully ready to be picked, so that'll be a whole total different video. Okay. Alright guys, so we have the collard greens, the kale, the Swiss chard. I'm going to wash them with vinegar and water on the deck before I bring them in the house. I'll show you how I do it. It's very simple. You know, everybody that, you know, gets vegetables, usually they either clean them in vinegar or lemon juice and water. So I'm going to use vinegar today and get these inside. I'll just do an example with one plant. It's going to be the same with how I'm going to clean the rest of them. So I'm just going to start off with the collard greens because they seem to be very sensitive right now because they were the first ones that I plucked. They're starting to wilt a little bit, so I'll probably cook these first. So let's get started. I'm going to repeat this same process with cleaning them four to five times. I'm not going to record all of that in the video, but you guys get the gist of it. And then I'll show you what everything looks like when everything is done, okay? See you in the next clip, kings and queens. Okay, kings and queens, so this is our harvest for today. We got collard greens, rainbow Swiss chard, and curly kale. Let me go around the other side. I'm gonna have to probably cut everything up and put them in bags, cooking some today, and then putting the rest in the freezer for different meals and salads and stuff like that. I have a lot to do here. There's a... Okay, that's a bad one. I gotta take that out. But everything is washed and clean and ready to go. Look at Foofy. Hey, Foo! I gave her a piece of kale. She was on the table eating the greens. Okay, kings and queens, so my husband decided that he wanted to have collard greens to eat, so I'm not sure what else I'm going to make this with, but stay tuned in. It's not going to be in this video. I'm going to make another video. I'm going to make a cooking video for you guys and show you guys what I'm going to prepare with this. I'm going to take everything off the stems and do the rest in front of you guys. Until next time.